what exactly is a music coordinator, and what exactly do you do?
We hire the band, but I always say that that takes an afternoon of phone calls. That's the part of the job that people think has the most cachet or is the most attractive or seems the most important, and it is. I mean, forming the right group of people, um, that have that share the same musicality for whatever project you're working on, or bring something unique, um, or of course work well together, that are great people and players that will fit in together in a unit. That definitely does take some thinking and um, research and vetting and all kinds of stuff before you actually make those that afternoon of phone calls. But I like to say that's where the work begins. So what does a music coordinator do after that? And probably before that too. Once a music coordinator comes onto the production, it's usually after a workshop phase or a reading, or the piece is written, the music is written, the book is written. They're getting ready, they're prepping it for a staged production. By the time I get the call, that's when they're starting to think about the band. So they're probably getting ready to run cast rehearsals for Broadway production. They've decided on the size of the orchestration. So there's been an orchestrator now who's fleshed out a piano vocal score, or just concept into what is now an 8-piece band, a 10-piece band. What is the sonic makeup of the show? How many musicians are going to, and what instruments they're going to play? And then, of course, what theater it's going to go into. We can talk about that later, but there are minimums, and there's some restrictions and some freedoms about how many musicians you can have in a theater on Broadway. So once you get to that point, now you know how many musicians, you know what they're going to be playing. Now you need someone to put it together. And a couple conversations, afternoon of phone calls. Perhaps the music director or composer has people that are already attached or that want to be attached to the show. They'll have some suggestions. But then that's where the work begins. Now you're working for a production, and you're the liaison between a production and the union, because these are union jobs, and you're protecting the musicians, and you're protecting their best interests. You have to be an expert on the contract that they're working on, what the rules are, what the rates are. And you're in production meetings with the production and the technical team and the production managers and stage managers, talking about the scheduling, talking about how many rehearsals we're going to have, how many hours, where it's going to be, where people are seated in the pit, what equipment's going to be around them. Are they going to be on stage? Are they going to be in costume? Are they going to be near machinery? Is there ventilation in the drum booth? Is there enough airflow? Is there enough? Is there HVAC? Is there fog machines on stage? Are there all of these things that are going on that people say, oh, we're going to do this or we're going to do that? There needs to be a department head that can say, okay, but here's the rule, and here's what you can do, here's what you can't do, here's how much it costs. Someone at the top that understands that and can make decisions, that's not part of the creative team. And I think that's the part that people don't get, is they think that the music coordinator is this flashy job that you just walk around hiring people.
Well, I mean, before you go on with that, I'm not trying to like eliminate your job at all, but why wouldn't the union have that position at local 802?
At what position? The things
The
I just stated.
music coordinator. Like, okay, these are the rules for local 802. If you're going to hire somebody,
Because the
talk to.
union, it's against labor law. For the union is not an employer.